On this episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast, we dream about Rebecca Lowe. We also talk about many things, Leagues Cup, selling of players, great
Little
stuff.
Kate Abdo. Little Kate Abdo.
Little spice of Kate Abdo because we know who really is pretty. Um, Brant, what else did we talk about?
We talk about Zach Booth, Diego Luna, probably the best game RSL's played all season, at least since the World Cup breaking, with their victory over Atalanta, a little bit of the struggles of the Tigres game, and we also, sincerely apologize to Rebecca Lowe for not having time for her on this episode, but we will catch her on the next one. So, thanks for listening. It's another episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Brant Coble, joined by Brennan, deep in the garage, or is it a bunker?
It's a bunker for
It's
sure.
a bunker. From the bunker, and Tyler from Arizona, wherever it is. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say anything because, what was it called? Witness protection.
Yeah.
So,
You got to keep it on the down low. We
Yeah.
never know which place I'm at in Arizona.
His new
Yeah.
name is Michelle. Michelle Thierry.
So anyway, that's where we're at. It's another episode. Do us a favor, follow us on all social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out a lot of content, a lot of fun content, and a lot of great information. So please do us a favor and tell your friends. And if you see us, maybe one of us will have a sticker for you. You earn your
Orange
orange
slice.
slice.
Ooh.
So a couple of breaking news, breaking stories, maybe not breaking, maybe not news, but everybody's heard about them. Xavier Gozo club record report, sources say $15 million to Crystal Palace. I saw maybe it was Bogert or somebody reporting 20 to 25% sell on fee. So it's a pretty good deal. Club record. What are you guys' thoughts on Gozo going to Crystal Palace?
Yeah, sizable deal. Amazing, amazing opportunity too, because Crystal Palace plays their young players. And there's an American there, Chris Richards, and the owners have a stake in Real Salt Lake. So I think all those things combined, this is about as good of a move as you could possibly expect if you're the kid from Utah, from West Valley. We're gonna call him from West Valley from now on. Sounds more gritty if he's from West Valley than Eagle Mountain, right?
And on the Premier League, the Premier League show when they broadcast it on NBC, on Peacock, wherever you catch it, Rebecca Lowe will be talking about Xavier Gozo because she's a Crystal Palace fan. So could go a long way.
Yeah.
Why do you bring her up?
I just thought that's a nice, interesting
He's
tie-in.
a
I mean,
great
Rebecca Lowe.
broadcaster.
I'm
Rebecca
pretty
Lowe.
sure that's the girl you have the hots for.
No,
I mean,
Yeah,
Kate Abdo's
'cause I
better,
remember
but
I remember this
no.
one conversation where I was like, do you know who's a good looking lady? Kate Abdo. I think she's a great looking lady. And then
I'm not
somebody
a fan.
in a
amazing.
flat cap goes, "What? Rebecca Lowe, she's way nicer than her. Rebecca Lowe,
I
she's a
like Rebecca
cutie."
Lowe. I'm sorry. I think she's a better
Yeah.
broadcaster than Kate Abdo.
Really? How many languages? No, not as many as Kate Abdo.
Well, is Kate Abdo British? I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, she is. She's British. She knows
Is she?
German, Spanish, and I think even
She's
Italian.
well traveled.
Well, the
Yeah.
point is that
She gets
Rebecca Lowe
around.
is an absolute Crystal Palace fan, and she'll be talking about. I'm sure she won't hesitate to talk about Xavier Gozo, and mention Real Salt Lake on the Premier League. So I think
Oh
that's
Let's
my
do
gosh,
it.
isn't that your dream? It's like one step
Yeah.
closer to saying Brant Goebel.
oh
Like
right?
yeah.
just one tiny segue to almost get in there. Like
So
amazing
close,
question,
man.
Brant.
So close, dude.
So close.
Yeah.
Well, and she is the reason that my wife likes Tottenham Hotspur. Because I
How?
asked my wife, this is the excuse my wife says. The reason that she likes Tottenham Hotspurs because she loved the way that Rebecca Lowe would say Tottenham Hotspur. And then she denied the fact that it had anything to do with Gareth Bale. So I don't know. I don't know if
There's
it's
all these, yeah, there's all
yeah,
these secret.
yeah. I
things,
think she
Yeah.
might be covering something. I don't know.
Hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to have their
I'm
seconds.
supposed to, and she said mentioned about something about me buying a ponytail. I don't know what is that. I don't have to. So
I do have one of those that you can tie on, Brent, and then
A ponytail toupee? Like,
Yeah.
what is
but
that?
it looks like a bandana.
Do you
Isn't that
think
what
they
Gareth used to
presented
have?
that
Like
to
had that.
Landon Donovan when
No,
he did his
the
toupee?
one
They're
that
not
Gareth
like,
Bale had.
do you
I
want the
should
90s ponytail, Landon?
Yeah,
Hey.
do it.
Oh my
I
God.
should surprise her for her birthday with a Gareth Bale toupee.
A Real Madrid Gareth Bale toupee. Oh, that would be spectacular,
Definitely
man.
do it.
I'm
Oh, I
making
will pitch in. I will
I'm
put
making a
money towards
note. Gareth Bale.
that.
All right.
Oh boy.
Brandon, what are your thoughts on Gozo going to Crystal Palace?
Oh, such a great connecting piece into one of the biggest leagues in the world because he's not too far away if away from MLS. He's not all done and dusted. He still has that connection like Tyler was saying about how there's part ownership there. And it's a great little starting point for him. I think the smartest thing RSL has ever done is put that 20 to 25% sell on fee. That's probably going to make more money than anything else because the expectation is Gozo is going to be one of the top U.S. prospects, U.S. players, probably in the next World Cup. I mean, his ability to improve, be coachable, and just be like the best human ever, and just being so nice. I mean, I think my best memories of doing press is having him come in and give everybody a fist bump. Like that just shows such good character from a guy like that. Nobody else does that. I mean, you put Cabral kind of up there too, because I mean he walks on water sometimes. But Gozo just stands so far ahead of everyone that's come out of RSL. Talent, personality, everything.
Yeah, he's a super, super good kid. I know Tyler and I, and maybe even you, Brandon, but we ran in the preseason the last couple of seasons. It was like 2 or 3 seasons ago in our first interview with Gozo, and he lives at home, and ask him if he said he still has to take out the garbage, and so I would ask him, "Okay, you still taking out the garbage?" Yep. Still got to.
Yeah,
So
still
he's
got to
got
listen to
a
mom. Yeah, yeah.
still has his head right on his shoulders, and just a decent kid. It was they had some other good interviews for the kids, but I remember there was one younger player that's no longer with the team, and the approach and the thought process was night and day compared to Xavier Gozo, and maybe it was just a different maturity level, different age group. But I remember Tyler and I interviewing someone, and at the end of it, we're like, "Whoa!" There was
Come
quite the
on, Brandon. You
difference.
can drop names.
Well, I don't want to
It's all
disparage it because
right.
the
No,
point
it's
was
not
that
disparaging. It was just a point in time. And even though one was 17 and one was 18, Gozo just
yeah,
felt like he was going to get there, you know?
yeah, yeah. We're not don't want to be negative or anything, but I'm not surprised that he's no longer with the team because somebody had focus, and it could be everything. Uh, it's not just the player, it's not just the talent, especially these kids. It's the family, it's the background, it's the support at home, and I think one of them had a little different support, and maybe it showed. So
Well, it kind of takes me back to that game when like all of the like bench players were gone for some reason. I can't remember what it was. There was some weird connection of like all our international guys went out to international play. Nobody was there. And we just thought, okay, they're going to fill the bench. So they called in Axel Kai and Xavier Gozo, and they put them on the bench because you can do that, I think, for 2 or 3 games a year. You can do that
Oh,
for your kids on
Jacqueline
the
was on there
Monarchs.
too. Jacqueline,
What's that?
that the game you're
Yeah.
talking about when Jacqueline was there? Yeah.
Yeah. So then they all got in, and played like the last few minutes of the game. But you could kind of tell by the way, like after that game, we were all like, man, that's interesting that Xavier Goza was like back and forth and all around. He seemed to fit better than the other guys. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
now here he is moving on already. So props to him. Like super athlete, super stud. Like I guess he never gets tired. He's always running full blast in 93rd minute, making long runs and whatnot. So hey, do it while you're young buck, because when you're 50, it just doesn't work the same way.
Holy cow, you're 50? No,
I'm 51, but whatever.
I
Who's
can't
counting?
tell, dude. Can't tell.
So yeah, I think Mr. Gozo is going to do well over there. I think being not necessarily a skill guy, in the midfield, but out there on a wing, I think, and his speed and the talent that he does have, I think it's just a great opportunity to play in the Premier League. I think the style, his talent fits really, really well. He's super talented, or he wouldn't be over there. But it's a position that I think you can excel in, right?
Yeah, and Crystal Palace has had a great run of sending their players up. Like Mark Gay, he was great there with Chris Richards, and then he moved up to Man City. You know what I mean? And then they had Eze, and he moved up to Arsenal, and you know what I mean? They're fine to be a feeder for the very top flight in the Premier League, and then like they'll play the kids. They kind of have that you know reputation, and so I think that's why this deal makes a really good sense.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of games. If I remember, I did they win the FA Cup?
Oh yeah, so they're in is it Champions League or the sec? Are they Champions League or are they?
They're in the
Yeah,
Europa Cup, UEFA Europa League.
there you go.
So they made that. Um,
Yeah.
so they've got FA Cup, they got the EFL Cup, and they got the Europa League. So they've got a lot of games, a lot of opportunities for players to at least make the bench and get an opportunity to start. Um, and they had a friendly and they won 2-1 on Friday.
Okay.
Just checking it, just googling around,
More
trying to.
random insights you want to
Yeah,
Google while we sit
yeah,
here and wait for you, Brand?
yeah.
Okay, no, but let's start talking about
Or
Leagues
should we
Cup.
move on?
I want to jump into some
Well, we
League.
have one more breaking news on RSL with them signing Lineker Rodriguez dos Santos, the Brazilian-born Houston native, joins Claret and Cobalt through 2027 sprint season. So they're going to sign him through the sprint season with options for the next two after that. But he's 24, and so then they signed him. I don't know. We were talking before. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but
He's
at the
beat out
moment,
all the guys
he's
in
not
front of
Xavier
him.
Gozo, right?
This is the guy that's beat everybody out, like with all the depth
Olatunji.
that we supposedly have, and like I don't see it. I don't see it yet. Maybe Pablo's got some secret sauce like minestrone dust that he will throw up on there that's gonna make this kid work all of a sudden, but he seems out of place every time he's in the game to me.
Is this
Yeah.
Brennan?
is this a potential? Like, does Pablo see potential in him, or is this a quick sign that he's the next one up and available? Because I feel like right now we're kind of a little hard on it after his performances in these last couple games. He's only played two, right?
Three.
One or two.
They've all been Leagues Cup, or was there one?
I was because he got the start away, right?
Was it St. Louis he played?
Yeah, I think he had
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I think they
Hmm.
mentioned St. Louis.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can't play more than three and still be on the Monarchs. So you got to sign a first
Yeah.
team contract. But has Arcani's not better than him?
Well, see, that was the first thing that I thought of. I was like, what happened to the rise and fall of Hazard? Like that kid at the beginning of the season, you couldn't you couldn't hope for more. Like that guy was checking every box. He was doing some golazos. I mean, he did that sweet Meg on the goal line. Like he's so talented. Like where
Picked up
I
a
don't know,
knock though.
maybe,
So
but
maybe
He
it's
did.
just
He
an
did.
insurance policy against that.
well, and I think
But
I'm gonna put my ideas towards okay, this is temporary, and Pablo sees that there's potential, and he's just kind of warming up to this new tempo or cadence that he's not used to, because there is a big difference in tempo from Monarchs to RSL, and that's always tough. Because I mean, Berea kind of had that same issue. He couldn't
yeah,
really match that tempo and still be as clinical as he was on the Monarchs. But
yeah.
you kind of think like,
But
does
you,
somebody have to be really special like Gozo to make a splash? Because like I don't know why somebody wouldn't just be all out all the time if you're going to play with RSL. Like if I'm going from Monarchs to RSL, I'm not cautious. I'm not trying to be like, hey, I need to be smart on the ball per se. I'm going to be like, okay, cool. This is what I do really well. Let's see if it works against these guys. You know, like there's no zero outcome focus, all process driven. It's crazy. I don't understand this at all.
And also too, it's like luck of the injury with Real Salt Lake a couple of times.
Mm.
Gozo, he came in because Mark Chuk and the other guy went out in Minnesota because of frostbite or was super cold. So he comes in, runs around like the Energizer Bunny, and never comes out of the lineup. Same with Emeka Anelli. If I remember right, someone in the midfield,
Ruiz, Pablo Ruiz.
Pablo Ruiz, thank you, got a knock, and Emeka came in, and then Emeka gets a knock, and he can't come back, and now Caliscan is cemented in the middle. So sometimes it's just kind of luck or bad luck for somebody else. So we'll see how it goes for them, but they are kind of stacked, and um, yeah, it's like there's a couple of players that are really, I think, on the bubble, and we'll see what happens this transfer window. You've got Mark Chuk and you've got Olatunji, who just cannot find their way into the confident play. I mean, I think Olatunji may have a little bit more support from the coaches or a little bit longer leash, but there's some players that you will. I don't know if they'll be here through the end of the season. We'll find out. Haven't heard any rumors or anything, but just kind of watching, trying to read the tea leaves. They're really struggling.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting they had an extended bench. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the bench was like, was it 22 or 24? It was ridiculously long. The bench was so big. There were three keepers, and they just kept going on the people that were on the bench. They had to scroll through. I was like, what is happening? This is great. I love it. Everyone's on the bench tonight. But I mean, we should probably talk about the actual games and kind
Yeah.
of the way people played in those, right? I mean, if we're talking about Ruiz,
Well, let's jump
Well,
into the
yeah.
Leagues Cup. Brendan wanted to do that, and I cut him off with the other breaking news. But before we get too far, 2 games in, the only 8 teams advance, 4 from each side. You've got the Group A, which is all of the Liga MX sides, and Group B, which is MLS side. So the top 4 from each side are going to go through, and it's going to be tough right now. America Juarez, who RSL plays to finish out the group stage. Cruz Azul and Leon all have 6. And that's the top 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. And then you've got Tigres, who tied out. We'll talk about them at 4, and then it breaks down 3 all the way down. And on the MLS side, the undefeated teams: Austin, Charlotte, Chicago, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Dallas. So the top 6, LAFC with 5, RSL with 4 and 8. So it's going to be really difficult things could break and go their way. They got one more game, but that's where they stand. But let's jump into it. What did you want to talk about, Brennan?
Oh, I just wanted to break down the games overall. You made a point about Olatunji, and I felt like the missing piece for Olatunji that makes him stand out was his set piece ability to be a little bit more offensive and win some aerial duels. And I think this last game against Atalante just it was one of the things that made us a little bit better was our ability to win something off the set piece. We were far more physical. We were able to get into certain spots that we normally wouldn't do against our normal MLS schedule. I thought that, man, if we could do what we did in this last game and put Olatunji in the mix, we're going to be so good in more than just one front, because I think Solans is so good with transition and through balls and just being on the ground. We have set pieces and Olatunji's in. We got some big dude trying to bully these little guys around. But yeah, I'm a little butthurt about Olatunji at the moment. I don't like that you guys brought him up because I feel like we're doing him a disservice again.
Well, and here's the thing, and I hate to say this, Brant's gonna hate that I bring this up, but the refs call everything on him. They hate
Yeah.
him, dude. I don't know what it is. He's physical, but they call everything against him. And he's big and strong, and he's holding people off. He's not cheap shotting. He's not really fouling, but they think he is. So there's this fine line. He's either got to walk or the refs need to do better. I don't know which one it is. I'm gonna blame the refs, not
Well, I,
Olatunji.
I will go
You
with
can blame
you.
Olatunji if you want, but the
No, I'm not
refs call
blaming.
everything on him, and
I,
and it helped that Leon was flopping all over the place, right? Little bump here and they go flying. Little bump here, they go. I'm sorry, not Leon. I
Tigres.
watched the Leon against Orlando game, and that game was BS too. They had called some goal back. Stupid. Anyway,
So yeah, Olatunji started the starting lineup against Tigres because they're pretty diverse lineups. You had Rafa in the back, and then Mark Chuk, Arias, Quinton, Engel, and Sanabria as the five in the back. Saba, Ruiz, Spirings, and Olatunji with Gila Vogie up top against Tigres. And I thought it was really interesting watching Tigres. They had it looked like it almost looked like Make a Wish for a little while. Like they had their Make a Wish team out there because I know there was one kid out there, number 30, who I thought for sure he was going to get a header, a free header on score on RSL. But I looked him up. It says he's 5'1", and there's no way, no way. But they had a
my
few.
favorite was when Quentin was man marking him, man. That was my favorite. 6'7" versus 5'1". That was odd. That was very odd.
Yeah, but it was interesting. Tigres was really good. The game started, and I thought, oh man, this is going to get ugly because 6 minutes in, RSL gives up one of the easier goals they've given up all season
Oh boy. That
through
was
the run
so easy.
play.
Yeah. So ugly. I was like, oh boy, that was so easy. So
They
simple.
Yeah, they turned Quentin over at the half line, and then they got in there, and then there
Then
was a
Engel
cross
missed
in.
the header.
Yeah, cross
Yeah,
in. The
Engel
guy
went
heads
for
it
the
back
header.
over to hit the guy from Tigres, and just boom in. They
Tap
just
in.
yeah, it was. I thought, oh man, it's gonna be bad because RSL had not played well to start the second half of at the World Cup break, and then it didn't get that way, and I was really kind of surprised. I thought RSL buckled down and tied up the game relatively early. It was kind of like two teams going back and forth, kind of feeling each other out. Um, and RSL settled in, and Pablo Ruiz out of nowhere, RSL was putting the pressure on, and it was a lovely goal. Um, they I think they recycled the ball, and it ended up at Oh, I got Morgan took a shot and then it bounced back to him, and he just a lovely little touch, like a Matt Crooks esque little touch to get the ball
What a
right to.
callback. What a
There you
callback.
go. There you go. Right
Oh,
to
yeah.
Pablo, who just lasered it and caught the keeper standing still and beat him near post. So
Wasn't
glad
that
to
good
see
to
Pablo
see?
Ruiz back.
Yeah.
Pablo with that
It's
sweet left foot.
it's so good to see a midfielder be able to shoot from outside the 18. We've been stuck with a lot of defensive minded, not really keen on putting the ball to the frame kind of midfielders. And it was cool to see Pablo do what he did, 2 years ago. But I gotta say, we played terrible. I don't know what you're talking about. Like that whole left side attack was awful. If you watch Mark Juke, that was something where like, okay, he's gonna be sitting on a cushion for multiple games going forward. He has not found his ability to stay on the field. I think this game is probably that Tigres game was the most disappointed I've been when I've been very just level-headed, like I've not really had an opinion. But this game, with the way Tigres moved, we should have been so creative. Guy Lavogi was able to move the ball forwards. Olatunji didn't really dribble too much. We kind of got lost in the midfield, and the five in the back is kind of our Achilles heel with most of our attack. Like I just don't understand the five in the back.
I
I'm
Well,
thought
I
I'm feeling by myself on this one, I think.
no, and, like I get what you're saying, Mark Chuk. Like, here's what drives me crazy as a fan and as a center back, we'll say.
Ooh, this
Right?
segment is called What Grinds the Center Back's Gears? Tyler Thomas. What
But
grinds your gears as a former center back of Hunter High School who did make it to state? Coming
every
at
year,
you hot.
every year.
okay. Anyway, so when you're playing center back and you work your tail off to win the ball back, and you play it out to your winger, who's supposed to be this dynamic, go get them, run at the defense and scare them kind of kid, and you run at the defense one time, I saw. Now, you could probably make a case that he did it twice, but that's it. He only ran at the defense one time that I counted in the whole time he was in the game. Run at the defense, make him nervous, do these darting runs, have a move. Maybe you mess it up once. That's okay. Don't quit going at him, because the one time you get by him, everything else falls apart. They were doing a man marking defense. Atlanta did the same thing. It was a man marking defense. And as soon as you beat one guy, that whole system falls apart. So if you go at him, and that's why Gozo was Gozo. He would go at people. He would try to beat them down the line. He had two or three mixed moves in there. He didn't have 10. He was no Henri, but he's a work in progress, right? So have one or two, three maybe that you can do. Zach Booth's doing it, right? He's going at people. Like, have a move. Go at them. But if you don't, well, I mean, if you mess up, we'll cover you, right? Mess up going to goal though. Don't pass it back every single time. It's so disappointing from a fan perspective, from a media perspective, and from a former center back perspective.
Doesn't just grind your gears, man. Just
Just
grind.
grinds me up inside. Go at him.
Well, Mark Chuk did get subbed out in about the 65th when it was, 62nd or 63rd minute. And sitting next to Brennan, I think, didn't you say that might be the last time we see Mark Chuk for a while? You did
Yeah,
say that.
it's one of those performances where you think, oh, Minestrone, the way he, I guess, figures out who plays, who doesn't, that type of a performance is going to be bench worthy for a while, with the exception of something happening and he's the option. But yeah,
And he
not
did.
not
I don't
impressed.
even think he made the 18 in the next game. So it
Oh,
was
wow.
very prescient.
And then Booth came in and scored.
Oh, we need to talk about Booth because that was good
Yeah,
and
so let's talk about finish the Tigres game. I thought it was interesting because the RSL had some opportunities and they didn't put them away. But Tigres, I really thought Tigres was going to get that second goal. I was super surprised that they did not get the game-winning goal. Were you? Were you guys surprised? Because it kind of felt like the game was tilted in their favor a lot of the time. Looking at the stats, they had almost 60% possession. Um, so I was kind of surprised they didn't get a second goal.
well, I'd like to compare and contrast the two games because I think that really kind of
Well, let's do
explains
that.
our play. So Tigres compared to, I'm saying it right, Atalante FC.
Yeah.
It looked like Tigres from the goalie to their striker. Every single player on Tigres, even the how you said incredibly not professional, Make a Wish 5-1 guy. Um, every single one of them had the ability to possess the ball, make many, many touches without a pass, and can strike. Like literally, it seemed like the top five players from Tigres were all threats. They were all like potential, hey, we're gonna swap. You'll be my winger. All of a sudden, he's number 9 right in the middle, putting the ball away. Like Tigres was dangerous in multiple positions. And then you look at this Atalante game, different starting people, different movement styles, different formation. And because we were so free to be dynamic and passing, and I think the whoever decided to pass the way we passed in this last game needs to get a raise, and he needs to be the tactics guy from now on. Um, if we had the team we had against Atalante, Tigres would not have been as great as they were. Do you know what I mean? But I got to give it to Tigres. They were I wanted RSL to kind of absorb some of that style a little bit more.
And Tigres, to be fair to Make-A-Wish kid,
What's
he
his name?
almost he almost beat RSL in the 89th minute. Remember, there's a free kick, or he's over there on RSL's right side, their left, sends in a cross, and they had a free header in the box. And I thought, oh man, because I kept bringing it up. I thought he's gonna get us, because I'm being silly about it. But yeah, they almost got it. But I think you're absolutely right. We were talking about Tigres, watching them just so clean, and just the difference in. I mean, Major League Soccer is a lot better than it used to be, and I think uh, they are almost could be on par. Not maybe not top to bottom, but overall they could be on par with League MX. But the way they make decisions and the passes are so quick, they know where their teammates are. There isn't any hesitation. I love to see that, especially when RSL has moments like that where boom, boom, boom. Uh, they have a no look pass, and how did they know their teammate was there? Because they played so well together, and it's just kind of more instinctual versus technical. But they are very, very good, and I thought that was very apparent with Tigres.
Yeah,
Their
I do
center
feel like
back
they're
pairing.
a beat faster, like in
Yeah.
the rhythm. They're a beat faster than MLS.
And
Sorry.
their center back pairing was so good. So good. They
You got
really
a call
were.
for that.
I don't know
I
if I can make that. I don't know if I can make the determination not being a center back, a former center back. But since you are, Tyler, I'll go with
well, the one kid was big, right? He was like
yeah.
from
That's what makes him great.
Colombia.
That one kid was really big, man.
Hey, that's my
Hey,
line. I'm the one that's always
I
talking
know,
about the
right?
taller the
Isn't that
better.
Ryan supposed to be talking
Oh.
about that? But no, I think he played in like Dunny said on the broadcast. He had played somewhere else and was like I can't remember if it was River Plate or one of these big clubs in Boca Junior maybe, and then transferred to Mexico. And so he's kind of a husky fella. they said. Just under 200 pounds, but I think we know he's well over.
And talking about center backs, I thought Arias for RSL really struggled against Tigres, at least
Yeah,
early.
I thought so.
Yeah, I think he had a nice save late or a sliding save, but he looked nervous. And if you
Right.
want to compare the two games, he was much improved in the second game against Atalante, and I think on balance he could be a guy that is going to he's going to be starting. I think they've got
What do
that
you
enough
think? You think
confidence.
between those two, between him and Quentin, you're going to play him? Or you think Pablo's going to?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I
What a Utah thing to say.
What?
Gunu. You think
Ganu?
Utah's Gunu
What
or
do you think
Pablo's
he's going
Gunu?
to do?
He's gonna go to the mountains instead of the mountains in Layton.
Oh, yeah. He's going all the way to Layton for the mountain.
Mountains. Sorry,
we
nitpicking.
haven't asked about Justin Glad because he had some sort of issue, abductor or muscle
Sure.
injury, and
Doctor.
he hasn't been around. So I don't know how long they're going to keep him out. We'll have to ask and find out. But I do think
But
that
apparently Kobe Henry's still injured because he was sitting by Xavier Gozo and Arieth Buell during the first game, during the
yeah, that
Leon game.
guy. Yeah.
Tigres.
I hope he enjoys his last season here
Tigres.
with RSL.
Lions and Tigers and Bears. Come on, get it right.
So
Hmm.
I think Arias is going to uh he's going to be the starter, especially if he has another game like Atalante. I thought he got more and more comfortable, and yeah, I think he's going to be good. So Tigres, it went back and forth. Like I said, I was really surprised. We talked about their more than stellar play, and I thought the RSL subs would come in and do a little bit more than they did, but ultimately it ended 1-1. I don't think it got as chippy as the Atalante game. That got really chippy. We can talk about that, but I like
Did
the
in
fact that
penalties.
this tournament, I think it's starting to mean more to the teams than maybe the fans.
Mhm.
Um, and I think there are people who are skeptical, it's just a money grab or something. But I think that the players from the different leagues, I think they want to win this. I and I thought you could see that they want to prove that their league, their team is better, and I think it's fantastic. I think it helps both leagues raise the bar.
I agree. Um, I have to say, can we start talking about Atalante now? Are you done with Tigres and your Make a Wish?
Yeah, well, yeah, and they went to penalties, and
We
uh,
lost.
we lost in penalties. Zach Booth hit off the post. Everybody was scoring their PKs, although both Cabral and their their goalie, who kind of likes to stir things up, he really got the south end on him. That was hilarious. But yeah, they ended up missing it, and RSL got 1 point. Tigers got 2 points. So let's jump to Atalante. Go ahead, Brendan.
Okay, so I have to give immense amount of kudos to Diego Luna, Pablo Ruiz, and Cutranis. And I mean, you can kind of say Caliscan too, because he was like hey, let's be civil here, chamos. Um, this was the first time in a very long time where I enjoyed something that wasn't in the run of play. For the first time in a long time, I saw Diego Luna turn into Javier Morales and a little bit of Kyle Beckerman. I loved his distribution in this game. I loved his pass to Solans off that goal line, like his little tiki little touch and then pass to him. Brilliant. His tenacity to not allow any of the Atalante guys to get away with much. Like just to prove a point. Like I want that RSL so bad. Like if they could guarantee, hey, we're going to be fierce, we're going to get in people's business. We're not allowing anything cheap on any of our players. I will buy season tickets immediately. Like I would be in there like, cool. I want to be as close as possible because it was so enjoyable to finally see something bad happen to RSL. And then you see Diego Luna on the lower part of his thing get into a challenge and just bump like shoulder to shoulder, let him know, hey, I didn't agree with that. And the Atalante guy knew exactly what Luna was doing because he popped right up, didn't say a word, and just kept going back into his position. And then Catranis getting in somebody's face because they got into our face. Like, oh man, I was enjoying this game so much. Like the score was great. That's awesome. I'm glad we scored so many goals. Congrats. But the fight and the way we stood up for each other, that's what makes me a fan of RSL. I haven't seen that in so long. I missed it. I love it. Sorry, that's my rant.
And
Oh,
to
I
your
loved
point,
it.
RSL jumping down the lineup had MLSsoccer.com has it down at 4-4-2, so a little bit better, different than because you had Cabral and then you had right back Arias and then Yedlin, Engel, and Catranis. I think that's probably backwards, and then Booth, Spearings, Caliscan, and Luna, and Gila Vogie and Solans up top. So I think you're absolutely right. I thought also I
Oh,
think
I
this
missed,
was
I missed, I missed Gila Vogie. Sorry, he was also in the scrum of like, don't talk to me that way. Like this guy, sorry, Gila Vogie. Props to him too. Sorry.
I thought this
No,
was the best game RSL played all year. Go ahead, Tyler.
well, I was going to say Guy Lavoie started it, right? He dove in on that tackle that freed Luna up down the line, right? He kind of got everybody going from the very beginning, started pissing them off real good, right?
Well, let
And
me
then
ask you about that because I was really surprised that that did not get called back. Because
VAR did a terrible job.
I thought Gila Vogie stomped right on his foot. He got the ball first, and I don't know in the rules or in the laws of the game that getting the ball first is even in there. Yeah, he got the
no,
touch, but he did stomp on his foot. So I was kind of
did
we've
he
seen the
stomp on his
RSL get
foot?
red cards for that.
Wait, did he really stomp on his foot?
It
Yeah,
wasn't a stomp. It wasn't a stomp. He was going for the ball. A ball left, and then his foot made impact.
yeah,
Like
they're just kind of
so, it
coming in
wasn't
like
like he intentionally went boom through him. He's going for the ball. The ball leaves, and then he continues into him. But yeah,
Then he put his foot,
normally MLS would say this sucks.
yeah,
And
he put his foot down though on the ground, and so his foot on the ground ran into his foot coming up. So he was lower than the other guy, right?
no, I
When
yeah,
they
think he was on
collided.
top.
um,
But
He was on top.
that's what she said.
Because
Uh,
Dunny said he pulled out of that one. Look, he got his foot lower. So I didn't know if it was lower than
from what I've
anyway.
seen, and not with a microscope, I think he got the top, just kind of like he got the ball, and the other guy's kind of, it was incidental, but, we've seen REFPO get a red card for that, right?
Depends on
So,
if
Right.
it's messy or not. If it's messy, that's a red
oh,
card.
yeah.
If
And,
it's
and a
anyone
4-game
else,
suspension.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
yet, finally for RSL, we get one call to go our way that should be going the other way. Is that what you're saying?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah, I
here's the
find
thing.
that it doesn't, but I think there's going to come a time where RSL fans are going to go, "Hey, that they should have called that back on," and somebody's going to go get a goal on us. How it all evens out, and then we're have to go. Oh, you remember when Gila Vogie stepped on the guy's foot? But it was a great play by Luna to dribble down the end line, and he really had him confused. The nice thing about it is there was like 3 RSL guys crashing the box, and he just passes it back to Solans. And I love Solans, and I think he's going to stick around RSL for a while. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. Uh, if he had connected on little higher percentage on his opportunities, I think he might have disappeared this window. But I think he's missed enough that people are like, oh, we'll
You know
wait
what?
and
I want to
see.
see those stats. You brought that up in the other game too, and I got perturbed. I got a little upset.
I
I
haven't
think
done
the
my
fact,
research. It's all anecdotal.
well, that's what I mean. Like, I want to see the stats of XG versus like completion or whatever it's called. Um, Solans creates so much on his own. Like, he creates so much. He has so many goals. Like, in my opinion, I think so because Solans isn't so vibrant on the field, he's not a US player, he's not a homegrown. He just doesn't get the publicity that Gozo got. I still think he's
Oh,
like
I think he's great.
hands down one of the best strikers we've ever had. Sorry, Sabo.
No, and you know what's cool on that goal is if you watch his run, he's there early, but he doesn't just stand there and wait. He realizes Luna's going to be here and he's going to have to change his angle. So he makes a sideways run across the six and then stops and waits for Luna's ball and then attacks it and just smashes it right in. Like that was a striker strike. Like that, like that's pretty rare that people put themselves in that position to do that cross right. Like that's hard to do. And he made the sideways run, and when everybody else was crashing the goal, and Luna had that whoop step over, then he made that noise on the broadcast. Whoop. And he did the little step over and then crashed it back because the crashers were the decoy. And so Lon stepped out perfectly for the right angle, and Luna just laid it right off to him so he could one touch it. And that was a striker strike. That was beautiful.
And to Brennan's point, his question, he did have two other one-on-one opportunities in this game against the keeper. One in the first half where he tried to chip it, and I think he was between two
Oh
minds.
man.
And the keeper, he had the keeper going the wrong way, but he just was too soft, and the keeper reached back and grabbed it with his right hand. And then in the second half, he had was one-on-one to keeper, and he sent it off the post. And I think
He
How
has
many
a really
goals did he
good
have
turn.
though? How many goals did he have?
he had one when he could have
How
had
many did
three.
Gozo have today or against this team? Zero. Okay. So let's put that in perspective for you. While
Well,
Gozo was
Gozo put
out
away
there
all of his
counting
opportunities. How's
money
that?
and all that
Gozo put
stuff.
all of his opportunities away.
See what I mean? Like somebody
100%.
goes to work and the other one gets all the praise.
No, I love.
Any
I
sense.
Salons is growing on me, and I think if he just stays confident, there was another time too where he was kind of pissed because he found Zach Booth, and Zach Booth took a shot when all he had to do was lay it off, and
Oh my God.
Salons
Oh
was the
yeah.
top of the
And
Oh
then
top of the
and
box.
God.
then the Facebook started lighting up. So Facebook has this group
You
and
are
they're all
51. Holy
Salt Lake
cow. Did you
City
just
guys.
say Facebook was lighting up or like
I know, it's
Facebook?
so funny.
No,
Yeah,
Facebook doesn't light up.
so funny,
Facebook was
man.
still
Facebook
using
like lit
kerosene
up.
and like turning on a lantern and like
No, it's that
in
fluorescent
my
light
day you
that
had to be home
they,
before the lights came on the street.
So this guy posts on Facebook, he's like, freaking Zach Booth can't hit the broadside of a barn. And then like he scored in like the 50 something minute. And everybody just lit him up. They're like, oh yeah, he really sucks,
Oh
man.
no. Oh no, no, no. I fully agree. So Zach Booth, so quick, so good, movement wise. I mean, his heavy touch, that one where he kind of got a tug and then he was in the box and he kind of did that touch that went little away from him. And then he shoots left or passes left or just, I don't know what it was, if it was a pass or a shot, but it was some serious MPH. But he was just, you're seeing like crap. He can get behind people. You can do some Gozo things, but the finishing is not there. And I
And
remember
then he's
another
what?
that same attack, like he's had success when he just put laces through it, like when he just did a straight direct ball. He had that success that few games back. We can't remember which one he won, where he just went down the
Yeah, he
right
went
side.
high to the near. Yeah,
Yeah, and he just
Minnesota.
went
Yeah.
high. But man, he was getting too much of the outside of that ball and just sending it parallel to the goal line. Just everything was parallel. Nothing was on frame. I I like him, but man, it's like
But
crap. We're in a rebuild.
but also like think of it like this. When he was going at people, he was going at them. And the other guys, the defenders, were jumping the passing lane. So when that happens, they're daring you to shoot, and you kind of have to. You know what I mean? Because as a center back, if I'm watching, Luna come at me or Zach Booth, I'm probably thinking I'm going to try to let Zach shoot it rather than Luna, right? And if I forced him to his weak foot, hey, that's all I can do sometime, right? And then Zach comes through, shanks it. The second one he got closer, the third one he got closer, and the fourth one he scored. So to me, like, yeah, it's not high percentage, but he keeps getting the quantity because he's creating those moments and getting past his guy, freeing himself up, and then hopefully looking to set up other people. But when the situation calls for it, you got to be willing to shoot 3, 4, 5 times.
And they talk about him, and Pablo's talking about in the post game, almost like they want him to slow down a little bit because he is so dang fast. He's surprisingly fast. And he got the second goal. But before they got to the second goal, I thought it was really interesting talking about the VAR. Solon's had a wicked turn. There was a couple of these. Not only Solon's, a couple other players. I think Luna had one, Gila Vogie, where they just turned the Atalante guys right at the midfield line. Solon's turns him, and there's a shirt tug, and he just kind of goes hands up. Oh, there was a foul, expecting the call, and she wasn't calling anything. And then Atalante turns it over, and the Anderson Julio's half brother, Johan, I think it was Anderson. He goes down there, gets 1-on-1 is a beautiful pass, cuts to his breaks to his right, cuts back to his left with the shot that gets past Cabral, and it's 1-1. And you're thinking, oh, it's going to be a game, but they went
I
to the
don't think it was
VAR
Julio that scored. I think it was the other guy. But go ahead.
anyway. Just had to get in there. Anderson Julio's half brother played for Atalante. They kept talking about it.
It's a great joke.
So
Everybody's going to remember that on the next podcast.
yeah, half brother, make a wish, and then half brother. So
Yeah.
just remember that. That's how I remember the two games. If you want to, just bring
And
up.
I
Hey,
met his dad.
we
if
want
that
to talk
makes
about the Make a Wish
you
game,
feel
or you want to
better.
talk about the half brother game. So anyway, they turn around and they go to the VAR, and then they saw the shirt pull, and then they kind of turned it over, and then Atalante's coach Miguel Herrera just kind of explodes, and somehow in the first 20 minutes gets himself a red card, and then gets sent off, and is up there somewhere in the stands with a walkie-talkie the rest of the game. Did you see that?
Yeah, it cut to that in the feed a bunch. Do we know what he said?
Over.
Because that's kind of a rare incident that just goes straight to a red card. Fourth official says something, and then she immediately runs over and puts a red card up. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't know that I saw. I didn't do any research. Not that it matters, but I don't know. Did either of you figure out what it was? It obviously was something good to get her straight red.
No worries. Just pause the podcast while I look it up.
Inappropriate.
Now, here's the thing. For me, like, such weird reffing. Both games. Both games. The first game was a little more consistent, but I didn't like the every time that two players bumped into each other, if a player fell down, the foul was on the other guy automatically, right? Consistent, but consistently bad. In the second game, the she was all over the place. I don't know what she was thinking. Like, especially with that call where he breaks away and maybe bad angle. Maybe you didn't see the shirt pull. Maybe you thought Solange just gave up on the play. I can understand that. But 4, 5, 6 times like that, like it got ridiculous. Diego Luna's getting like guys sliding at his ankles. Like if he sticks into that, Dunny's like that would have broken his ankle, you know? And
Yeah,
and she's like play on, nothing. So Luna has to take it into his own hands, he feels like, right? Yeah, it gets a little
I
ugly.
would not have given her really high marks. Well, yeah, I think you're
Especially
right.
number 16 there. He kept going at people, kicking out. He threw hands at Sanabria. Like he just threw his hand into his face and she did nothing. VAR did nothing. No one did anything.
Yeah,
And it's stuff like that that you just get frustrated at. You're like, come on, people. What is
solid C
happening?
plus.
Oh, D minus, bro.
D
That was
minus.
some
Okay.
bad refing. And it almost escalated into a brawl. And if it almost escalates into a brawl, you probably didn't do a good job as a ref.
No, I 100% agree with you. I thought the teams did well not to let it get into a brawl, although it did get to handbags. Uh, one more step would have been a brawl, but I thought she really was inconsistent, and I don't like to see that from any ref. I think you have to call fouls. You can call too many, and you can call not enough, and which was the case here. There's a sweet spot where you need to be, and excellent refs, good refs, find that sweet spots more often than not. So, and
But
with
if you're
the
gonna err, err on the side of calling too much because then the game slows down. The players' heads come back. They can calm down in their own heads a bit, overcall it for a few minutes, and let that dissipate, right? But if not, then you get Katranis going up into the sideline and like seeing the guy that just took out his buddy, and he's like, I gotta throw my shoulder in there to protect myself. I get it.
and
Get
you
it.
have to take into account that this is a game between two different leagues, two different competing leagues, two different competing cultures, football cultures.
Yep.
And I think there's a higher responsibility for the officials to keep these games under control because they can get incredibly passionate. They're not the World Cup, but you've got two competing leagues going against each other. I think there's a step of intensity in, in these games over just regular MLS games in the regular season. Get closer to the playoffs, get into the playoffs, the intensity ratchets up. But these are games that the intensity has the ability to get really high really quick. And you have to be ready to blow your whistle and pull out a yell every once in a while.
Random thought, because we're a random fan podcast.
Absolutely.
How would you think two center officials would work? Do you think that would help kind of organize the chaos a little bit more and be able to see things a little bit clearer so that way there's two angles to every challenge, pretty much?
That's what the NBA does. They do three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean
And
the AR's got a simple role. He's checking line and then obviously some foul play stuff. But two
yeah, I
center,
like that. I
yeah.
like if the VAR plays a more active role and becomes that second center rep, right? When something goes amiss, when you're like, ooh, that guy really went in hard on Luna, and then all she does is card Luna after he gets clocked 4 times in a play and tries to stay on his feet and battle through it, and then kind of shoves the guy after. Luna gets the yellow for that? No, 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 no. That is some poor refereeing. You go back and you yellow card at least one of those other dudes. At least
Well,
one of them.
why didn't VAR help out? Because I mean, it's obviously a potential red card, like Dunseth was saying, like going in from
That's what I'm
behind like
saying.
that, and that continuation with because he first touches him with his right leg, and then he slams his left leg through him as he's already gone through. I mean, that's definitely a red
Yeah,
card.
and even if you call them down to the monitor, there's the threat of them being kicked out of the game. And even if they don't get kicked out, at least they're like, phew,
Yo, I got to
dodged a
chill.
bullet.
Yeah.
I better, yeah. You know what I mean? At least there's that threat to kind of calm the game down again, right? As an official group, you're with the VAR, you're part of the official group. Calm them down. Send her to the monitor. Let her see everything that led to that yellow card for Luna. Maybe Luna deserved the yellow card, but so did one or two of those other guys, right? Like, come on, get it right.
I'm more of a proponent to answer your question, one having a single ref. I think
Because she looks,
Tyler's right. You have the VAR step in a little bit more because they're communicating all the time. And a good set of referees, you got the two ARs and the center ref, they are constantly talking to each other. And I think that sometimes the center refs don't like to be, you can tell they kind of like to run the show, but the really good ones listen to the fourth official, they listen to their ARs. And I think there'll be too many chefs in the kitchen. And because sometimes too, when you see it with the NBA, and I don't watch the NBA as much as I used to. Same with, but when you have those multiple refs, sometimes you have refs that if you got, are they responsible for the whole field? Are they responsible for half of it? Do you have a refs calling something from 40 yards away when their other ref is 10 yards away. I think the way it's set up now is the best it could be. So I like it that way.
Well, the only reason I bring that up is because this game was a weird experience for that center official. She looked like intimidated. Like she looked like she was being pushed around. Like normally, like you'd see a little bit more respect because she's a woman, like, that natural, like Tori Penso kind of a deal, they go up to her, but it's not the same as her husband, like Chris. Like when they go up to him, they're like really vibrant and really animated. But this game, it was like they did not care. They had zero respect for her. Like they were making her life so difficult. Like
Well,
where is that control coming? Like why can't we have that control?
she didn't blow her whistle. That's why she didn't have control. I think
Right,
Tyler was
but
right.
hey, they're always talking. They're always working together. Like why aren't they talking so much that they're helping her?
She's the one with the whistle. She should have called and set the tone. Um, especially, you know, in the second half, right? You can let people play and kind of set the tone. You don't want to call too many fouls. I mean, you call fouls if they're fouls, but you don't want to blow your whistle all the time. You let the game find its equilibrium, but especially in the second half when games are close, you have to really set the tone. And I don't think she did. I think she let the game get away from him, especially with the score line. We talk about everything else.
The games get
RSL
out
went
of
up one
hand.
nothing, and then their goal got called back, and it was 1-0 at halftime in the game. In the second half, I thought talking about Zach Booth, that was a great goal from him, dribbling across the top of the box, another left footer beats the keeper near post, kind of freezes him, and we're up two. And then I think the goal of the game for me, I think the last two goals were really fun because RSL has not been too dangerous on set pieces, and we had the nice free kick about 40 yards out from RSL's left side, and Diego Luna sends it in. And for a change, RSL had a free, unmarked player on the backside, and Guy Lavogi just touches that ball into the box, and Engel redirects it, and boom, game over.
That was a
3-0.
sweet touch for an outside back, man. To put that far post like that, that was pretty sweet from Engel.
Very professional goal all around.
But then the play of the game was what?
I thought I was trying to think that goal from Pablo Ruiz getting, and I was trying to remember, wasn't it last year, the year before? Didn't Oh no, it was Ojeda. That's who it was.
Ojeda had like
Ojeda had like 17 goals in the League's Cup or something.
yeah.
He had three goals, and we want to wish Brian Ojeda quick recovery from having foot surgery.
Oh,
He injured his foot, like the fifth metatarsal or something in his foot. So
well, that sucks.
for
How many
Orlando,
metatarsals
but
do you
yeah,
have?
that what's that?
How many metatarsals do you have?
I don't know. You have enough if you hurt him. You got extra, I guess. So
Should ask a doctor or something.
yeah.
We'll have to get a doctor on this
Well,
podcast.
yeah, we'll get the doctor. We'll get that
But the play of the
podiatrist. Is it a
game,
podiatrist?
play of the game.
That goal from Pablo Ruiz, is that what you're talking about? The
Yeah,
play of the
you were
game?
going to tell us about it.
So,
Remember? You stopped yourself.
do you think that was obviously great strike, but do you think a goalie would normally get that?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think that if you watch it, because the ball ends up to Pablo Ruiz, and he does a great job knocking the defender who tried to take the ball off him, shoulders him off, and the guy goes down. And the way he hits that with his left foot, there is a ton of spin on it. It's like it was like as soon as it hits the ground, it just curves around the keeper. There was so
It was
much
like a
spin on
kick
it.
serve in tennis. It was awesome.
Yeah, and it's just
I
like,
was
yeah,
hoping that I was hoping they were going to say something like he hits it with all the anger of 1,000 frustrations of two knee surgeries and like something like that because he was getting animated in the game too, and he was kind of getting right in the mixer with all these guys, and then he's still coming off like his second ACL tear, and he still smacks it into the fourth quarter, man. That was sweet. Yeah, his anger that was probably built up into that point probably helped him, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it was nice. And Pablo played well in both games, Pablo Ruiz. And so that's got to be pressure on the coaching staff to get him more minutes because he's playing really well. So RSL ends up getting the win, the highly contested, the chippy game 4-0, and they have 7 points like we were, well, they 4 points. They might get through with 7 points if they beat Juarez, but Juarez has 6 points, and yeah, it's going to be tough. We'll see what they do in the next game. They may, if it was me, and I know you're not asking me, but I'm just going to share. If it was
Hey,
me,
what
I
do you
would put
think,
the
Brian?
started. I would put the same lineup out that started against Atalante. Put your best 11 out there, and then see how it goes. Because a couple of teams play, I think Cincinnati, and there's three of the teams that are higher on the table than us that play. They start like at 5:30. So by halftime, we should know how close RSL is, what kind of chances they actually have to getting 3 points.
Or even
And
if they can qualify, right?
yeah, you should have a
Yeah.
good idea at halftime. If RSL is down 2-0, yeah, they're not at halftime. Or if they're winning at halftime and the other scores are going our way, then I think you can keep it going. But if it's not, you put your starters in, you let them get a good 45 minutes, and if at halftime it's just like, hey, you guys, it's not going our
Yeah,
way,
there's
then you
five
sub
teams with
out
three
you sub
wins.
out your
Yeah.
what's that, Tyler?
Yeah, there's five teams with three wins each, then just sub in the kids, right?
Yeah, at halftime, but get a good run at halftime, get a good uh make it an honest effort in the first half, and then see where you're at because there are games on Wednesday and Thursday after us, but three of the teams that play against teams with like 0 points. Um, it could be like, hey, there's really no chance for us, but it could be a good opportunity to get them to 45 minutes and then see what happens, make the adjustment, and then sub them all out and get that Lineker kid in there and let him go to town and get a hat trick or something. But
Right.
I think at the moment the odds are
Sure.
they're long. They're not zero. The RSL could advance and be one of the top four teams out of Major League MLS, the MLS side of the bracket, but be a
But
lot of
they
work.
are like Brennan's hair, long and lush.
No,
Sorry, I keep pulling it back. I apologize.
no, yeah, yeah,
Jealous,
yep.
jealous.
So, any other thoughts on the Leagues Cup? Do you guys like the tournament? Do you like how RSL's playing?
I like that it gives a different look to what coaches are going to use. Like it's kind of like one of those like, hey, going into the lab, let's make a new concoction compared to what we normally would run. And I like to see that we're getting Catranis back on the field because I mean, Sanabria, you can't. That guy is so good. Like just destroys everybody. But it's good to see Catranis and what he can do. It's good to see Booth be able to step up and do some things. Um, and I think, like I said, because the Liga MX is a little bit like just a couple beats faster than MLS, it kind of shows us like, hey, there's some hiccups or some holes here that we need to tighten up. And it's kind of like that good little middle checkpoint in the season to kind of readjust us to go, that long stretch towards the end, in my opinion,
I think that's solid opinion there, Brennan. Well said, my friend.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
Oh!
absolutely grown on me.
Side note, to the random guy who saw me walking to the press, I apologize. I was in a hurry. And also, it was the first time that somebody actually spotted me. So I didn't know what to do because I literally was like, hey, I watch your podcast. And I was like,
Who, me?
hey, you.
Oh, I have a podcast?
And I think I said, my guy, or something like that. And then I kept walking. And then I walked down the stairs and I was like, why didn't I stop to say hi? Like, what? Like, I'm so, like, sometimes I'm so antisocial, like, just so awkward. I was
Well,
literally
it is.
thinking about it the whole day. And then the next day, I was like, should I say something on the podcast? Like, should I bring him up and, like, maybe we can, like, say sorry and get him on the podcast? Because I was like, I've never been in this situation before.
Yeah, it is kind of disconcerting that first couple of times for people. It's happened to me like 3 or 4 more times than you.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But it is kind of, it's like, oh, hey, you don't even think about it. The last thing you're thinking is like, hey, somebody's going to recognize me, right? The last thing.
Not me. I
you're
think that
thinking-
all the time. I'm like, do you recognize me? How about you? You? And so when someone finally does, I'm like, my man, let's go. Yes, you are my man. Yes.
And Tyler
Oh,
walks
yeah,
around the
it's
games
happened
going, don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?
No, not like
Center
that.
bag, Hunter High, 99.
Come on.
Remember.
99. I'm not that young.
What year did you graduate?
Graduated in 93, bro. Come on.
Oh, that's right. You were part of the first generation.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we played our first games at Kennedy, bro. That's how old. Yeah, we didn't even have a soccer field at high school when it started.
Dang. That's
Yeah. Anyway,
All right. Anything else? I'll close this episode. Say thank you for listening. And I'll also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. I'll follow us on social media. And also just want to apologize to Rebecca Lowe. We don't have time for her on this episode, so we'll get her on the next one. So thanks, and we'll see you later.